It doesn't matter how much money you make if you don't save money, you don't learn how to budget, you don't learn how to actually invest your money, you will never actually truly build true wealth. You can get rich, but you can lose all the money if you don't actually truly invest your money and learn how to save and budget. Because if you are somebody who is making $10,000 per month and spending $10,000 per month, then guess what? You're still broke. You know what I'm saying? You're broke, right? You're broke. So I just wanted to be transparent about that, just so you know, like, cause I've gotten to a position where I'm making $1,000 a month, and then I spend $1,000 a month. Right? I remember my first time making 30,000 a month. I went and spent it on this. Granted, I did spend on some responsible things like paying off my bills, but then I'm like, oh, all 30K is gone. You know what I'm saying? I was 21 with that kind of money at the time, so I want to talk about budgeting, saving, and I found a easy hack and trick to let you be able to build the habit of saving money. Because the one of the best habits you can build in life is the habit of budgeting and saving money. The reason why is because literally there's a story of this man who was a janitor, and his whole entire life was a hard worker. He was a janitor, just picking up odd jobs, just doing all those things to make a little bit of extra money. And he was real to himself, always saving money and stuff like that. Nobody really knew. He had some stepkids. He was married, and by the time he passed away, right, this was like back in early 2000s. He passed away, and at the time, some of the most successful people, rich, super rich people, were making, let's say, they had a net worth of 8 million, 10 million, right around that range, right? So when this guy passed away, this janitor passed away. Everybody knew he was a janitor. He passed away, and his kids got $2 million. His kids like, yo, whoa. His stepkid's like, whoa, $2 million for my dad. Like, yo, you know what I'm saying? All right, people, hold on. We like 2 mil. Where he get this from? Like, wait, man, robbing banks. What's going on? And the truth is, what really happened is this man had been saving his money and investing it so well that he had a very high net worth just from working regular jobs. Now nowadays, if you work a regular job, it's gonna be really, really difficult. You know what I'm saying? I mean, then again, I said the guy had multiple jobs, but it's gonna be really difficult to achieve that type of, you know, high level net worth because the cost of living inflation is so high up. So that's probably not happening. But granted, just kind of put in perspective like what he was doing back then. Okay, $8 million. That's insane. That's still a lot of money even these days, right? There was another guy who went to Harvard. He was a brain surgeon, and he was very successful. Had a nice mansion, pool. He used to party all the time, and he went bankrupt before he even passed away. Right, I think by the time he was 40, 50 years old, he was bankrupt. Right, they was right around the same age range. They was right around the same time zone, time frame, timeline. But one guy who was the janitor had a higher net worth than a guy who was the brain surgeon making hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, and the other guy went bankrupt. Granted, one guy did pass away, the janitor, but it was unrelated to his finances, right? It wasn't that he couldn't pay for medical bills or anything of that sort. Now, I want you to take a look at it. If you had to base off who was smarter, right, you would say, okay, 100% without a shadow of a doubt is going to be the brain surgeon. He went to school, he went to college, everything of that sort. The other guy, the janitor, his highest level of education was only high school. But guess what? He had a good relationship with money, right? He didn't care about all the flashy stuff going crazy and stuff like that too. And not saying there's anything wrong with the flashy stuff. Hey, I like to be a little flashy, right? But he still had a good relationship with money. He didn't care about, balling out, whatever case may be, and going all out for other people. But the other guy did. He was partying, bringing other people to his house all the time, every single time. He didn't have a good relationship with money, and he was not saving his money. He was not investing his money. The more poor guy who was making less every single year, making minimum wage every single year, maybe a little bit more than minimum wage because he was doing extra jobs, he was much more successful in the long term and had way more money left over, even after passing because they had a good relationship with money. Right now, if you can build once again, if you can build the habit of saving money, that's one of the best habits you can build in life because it's gonna put you ahead of a lot of people. It's gonna put you ahead of 99.9% of people. The average American is in $7,000 of credit card debt. Right. So if you can get past that, save money, save your first $10,000, so on and so forth, this will put you ahead of 99% of people and put you ahead of the average American. All right. So the easiest habit I would tell you to instill in yourself, the easiest thing I would tell you to just put into yourself to build the habit of saving money is every single time you're about to purchase something, don't look at the purchase cost of it right now. Look at it over the term of a year, right? So let's take your average salary. The average salary is about what, $40,000 a year, right? Let's say you get something and you go, let's say on coffee and drinks, You spend $30 every day religiously. Like, hey, I gotta have my coffee. I gotta have these little snacks at Starbucks, right? Starbucks, boom, easily you get a few items nowadays. With inflation, you spend $30, right? Or let's say on fast food instead of eating at home every single day, $30 on fast food every single day. That is $900 a month. $900 a month you're spending on fast food or whatever these things is, right? Whatever that thing you spend on a regular basis, right? Look at that number, multiply it by how often you spend it, and multiply it by the span of a month, right? So if you spend let's say $100 every week on this thing, right? That is, and I want you to base it off of, I want you to structure it with the 50-30-20 rule. 50%. So 50-30-20 rule is essentially 50% of your income is for your needs, 30% is your wants, and 20% is for saving and investing. We're going to go for just the wants, right? The wants being the fast food. You don't need to go eat out fast food every single time. You need food, yes, 100%, but you can actually purchase it from grocery store and cook your own food, whatever case it may be, right? So let's say your wants. So the alcohol, I ain't gonna say it, but you know what I'm saying? All the little extra stuff that you're spending money on. And I have a little funny story about what I just did, right? My friends, growing up, they be like, bro, how you able to save money? Because I'm like, because I'm not, you guys are doing that. You spending $400 a month you spend $400 every single month. That was back then. That was years ago. You spending $400 a month on this. And you're wondering how can I save extra money? And we work at the same exact job. First of all, I'm picking up more hours than you. Second of all, I'm not I don't have an extra $400 expense. Plus what it's costing you to stay in that state of mind where you don't want to go pick up the extra shift, right? So even think about that, right? Really think about even just that alone. But back to what I was saying, the wants, right? Spending money on the wants, right? Look at the wants and calculate how much money you're spending on your wants and multiply that over the course of 1 month, how much money you spend on every single month, and over the course of 1 year. Just like the example I gave, if you're spending $30 a month on fast food or on snacks and drinks every single day, $900 a month you're spending on that, and that's an extra $10,000 a year. That is actually a little over $10,000. $10,000 a year. Let's say round down to $10,000. $10,000 a year that you're actually spending on that thing, on just that one thing alone. That's costing you $30 a day. You allow $30 a day. That's it. $30 a day. $30 a day, that's it. But guess what? When it compounds over the term of a year, guess what? That's 25% of your annual income. You let me know if that extra Starbucks coffee that you're getting every single day, with a few snacks and everything, you're going to get something else. You're going to get a little bacon Gouda, whatever they got, right? The egg whites, whatever they got, desserts, muffins, $30, $20. Guess what? That's an extra $10,000 a year, 25% of your income. Is that worth 25% of your income just because that's your morning routine? Yo, make some coffee at home. Go buy the ingredients. Make that at home. Drink some tea. That's better for you. You know what I'm saying? Just really, that's the easiest way. If you want to build the discipline to save money, multiply that. Find out how much you're spending on that thing every single year. I want you to also realize something. The small cost that you're accumulating with everything you're spending, it adds up. Best believe. I make 6 figures a month, and not to brag, but I'd be like, yo, whoa, where's the money going? Because I got subscription here. You see what I'm saying? The small stuff add up. I'm actually building a software right now that helps you find all those small little subscriptions that you're subscribing to, all those small little things, and then like a debt navigator just kind of help everybody with their finances, just because it's the most important thing you can actually handle, right? One of the I'm gonna give you guys some of the tools that I've used over the years. One of the things that I used was this thing called Digit. It was an app called Digit. Not affiliated by them. It was an app called Digit. What it would do is every single day, as I'm spending money, it takes out a few cents to a few dollars every single day, and it put into a different savings account. It was a different account, and they have their own portal, their own account. It takes my money out of my account and puts it there. It looks at my monthly income, and I can set certain goals like, hey, I'm going to travel this date. It's going to start accumulating and calculating that money for me and putting it to the side by the time I'm ready. And that's literally how I even paid for my real estate license. It was like $3,000 to get my real estate license or something like that. Some of that, it wasn't a full $3,000, but I think I got 1,500 of that was what I saved from that thing. Right, I was like 20 years old, literally 1,500, just boom. It was like all extra money I've saved for a lot of different trips and stuff like that with that, and it comes in handy. Right, it's called Opportune right now. They call it Opportune. They switched the name. Now I want to be very transparent because a lot of people when they download apps like that, they don't even be knowing. Because I think even Albert, it was an app called Albert that got a bad rep because they're not transparent. People don't understand that they're gonna take the money out of your account. And people, oh, they're stealing money. It's not stealing money. It's saving another account. You can access that money any single day, and you can withdraw within, they give like 3 to 5 days. That's the only caveat, or you can pay extra to expedite it. And at that point, you're paying to have your money, get to your account faster, which that'd be blowing me sometimes. But it still builds you the habits because it was like even if it's extra $1,000 in there, that's an extra 1,000 you wouldn't even have if they didn't do that thing for you. So that's one of the easiest ways to save money. If you're a person who have a lot of cash, what I used to do is every single time I have cash on me, I'll throw into a shoebox that's extra money. Now, you have to have real trusting people around you because if you throw in a shoebox, somebody can just go in there and rob you. But I'll just throw extra cash in there, and then I waited a few months. I even did a whole YouTube video on this years ago, and I was able to save up a few $1,000s in there over the span of a few months. It was an extra $2,000, just like that, along with what I was doing with the Opportune digit thing. And another thing, too, that I use as well, too, is Rocket Money. I've used that for years and years and years. Not only can I look at my net worth, my credit score, all types of stuff like that, but also tracks subscriptions, unwanted subscriptions. It'll tell me, hey, you have this payment coming up, this payment coming up. I love Rocket Money. I use it religiously. That's also another one. I'm building my own Rocket Money. I've always wanted to build something like that too. But you can go Rocket Money. I highly recommend it. When I get my stuff, it's gonna be done in January. Be prepared and use that. But yeah, that is the easiest habit. The easiest thing you can do to start saving money is just calculate how much it costs you every single year. When you realize that number and subtract that from your annual income, it's gonna hit you hard. Like, yo, what? You know what I'm saying? So I hope y'all enjoyed this, and I catch you on the next one.